Today on Teach Me How to Vegan. So this is such a vital step because we're creatures of habit.
Yes.
That was so important because if you never figured out how to veganize that meal, you would fall back on it eventually.
Right.
And it would pull you out of your veganism or, off your path.
It'd be really hard. It'd be a challenge. Yeah.
And one last thing I want to say before we get to the how is that you need to truly enjoy your veganized version.
Oh my God,
Don't convince yourself that you like it because you want to like it so much or because you want to be successful. If you are not loving it, then keep working on it.
Yes.
Be patient and keep working.
Yep.
Right? Don't make something that's quote unquote good enough. Because it'll get old.
Oh my goodness.
And you'll go back.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Just you want to be like, oh my God. You want to sound like Janice from Friends or something. Like you want to be over the moon of like, I can do this. Like an epiphany.
If it don't make you buy a vowel. Welcome to Teach Me How to Vegan,
a podcast where we explore how to switch to a vegan diet.
I'm Tony, a health educator, fitness instructor, and plant-based eating program manager for Animal Protection of New Mexico.
I'm Mickey, a stay-at-home homeschooling mom and vegan cook who likes to play in the kitchen.
Our family stopped eating meat in 2007.
And we went vegan in 2016. Now we like to share with others what we've learned.
Thanks for joining us.
Let's get started.
Welcome, everyone. Today, we're talking about how to veganize your favorite foods. So this can actually be a simple process. Once you learn a few basic steps, familiarize yourself with a few different ingredients.
Substitutions or whatnot.
Exactly. Substitutions and swaps. Then this can be super easy.
Yeah. And this is probably our number one tip on going plant-based.
Yeah. So before we get into the how-to, we just want to spend a minute or two talking about the importance of this step and why.
Yes.
Because in our Baby Steps to Veganism episode, I think that was like our third episode, we talked about this as one of your baby steps, is learning how to veganize your favorite foods. That was an important step to take along the way, right? And we feel like it is perhaps the most important step to take.
Yeah, we recognized, particularly at the beginning of the year, when people are trying to make changes and New Year's resolutions, and we got a couple of extra text messages around that time. And I was telling somebody to do this because they're like, oh yeah, we got this cookbook and we did this and it's all whole foodsy. It's all whole foods plant-based. But going from the standard American diet to whole foods plant-based is a huge, huge leap. And for many people, it's a tad too much and unsustainable.
Yeah, because then you're not just cutting out animal products, you're also cutting out oil and sugar. And there's so many layers to the change. And then people think it's too hard to be vegan.
Right.
When it's really just too hard to make such a drastic change.
Right, exactly. And so that sort of like, oh, I tried being vegan and it's too hard is really, well, how big was your change? What supports did you have? And so I was really pushing this move to veganize your favorite meals. And we're not talking about your like really labor intensive, fancy, like that takes a long time to cook meal. We're talking about, what do you turn to when you come home and you don't want to eat out, but you'll make something real quick at home?
Yeah. When we say favorite, it's more of like, what do you eat the most often?
Yes.
If there are something you eat once a week, literally, or every other week, and it's more often than you eat anything else, that's the thing you want to learn how to veganize. So prioritize those meals that you eat most often over what you might consider your quote-unquote favorite food.
Right.
Because sometimes your favorite food is a treat you only eat once or twice a year or something like that. But the foods you eat most often.
Yeah. So like for some people that might be mac and cheese. Let's say you eat a lot of mac and cheese because you just, box mac and cheese, you dump the box and you're good to go. All right, let's veganize it.
Yeah. And so this is such a vital step because we're creatures of habit.
Yes.
And our brains want what they want. So if they're used to getting their sugar and their endorphins and their all whatever they get from that mac and cheese that you eat every week, then you make this drastic change. If you're not eating mac and cheese anymore, it's going to make it really hard for you.
Yeah.
But if you figure out how to make your mac and cheese plant-based, If you figure out how to veganize it, you can incorporate it into your routine as you make this change.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. And then it's sustainable. Because if the goal is to, if you're really passionate about only being plant-based or being plant-based most of the time and you're having a hard time sticking to it, start here. Try this first. Because even still to this day, after, what are we, on 4 years of being vegan now, and we were 9 years being vegetarian, I still will get cravings for breaded chicken, mashed potatoes, corn or green beans, and like a biscuit or a roll all the time. I must have grew up eating that quite a bit because I do get cravings for that kind of comfort food. And guess what? I found a Gardein cutlet that does the trick, and it's vegan.
But that was so important because if you never figured out how to veganize that meal, you would fall back on it eventually.
Right.
And it would pull you out of your veganism or, off your path.
It'd be really hard. It'd be a challenge. And like, look, it's there for me. There's a replacement. It's a substitute. I can still have it.
Yeah.
So I can still have that meal. And then if later on down the line, once that is so quick to do that I'm not even thinking about it, if I want to revamp it again, maybe I want to figure out how to make my own homemade sort of little chicken patty, breaded chicken breast patty thing instead of a store-bought one because I want to reduce the processed stuff, then I can do that. But I'm not jumping from meat, chicken flesh straight to this patty that, there's like a grading towards it.
Gradual process.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. You don't roll off the couch and run a marathon.
Right. Yes, exactly.
So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. And so we just really feel strongly about it because it was such a huge help to us. It's really helped us be successful. We didn't go from, standard American diet to Whole Foods plant-based. Some people can do that. And the people who want to do that and can do that, fantastic.
And that's a small percentage of the population, by the way.
Yeah. So
most of us think we're that special.
Right.
And so small percentage, and obviously most of us are not.
Yeah. So if you try that and you find it's not working, instead of just, oh, I can't be vegan, it's too hard for me, I can't be plant-based, try this.
Yeah.
Fall back on this instead of falling back onto meat, dairy, eggs, cheese, all of that jazz.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very well said. And because another part of it is getting away from your cravings for animal flesh.
Yes.
For cheese. For the casomorphines in cheese. And we'll probably do a whole episode on cheese in the future. So it's just recreating plant-based versions of your favorite animal-based foods is an important step for a lot of people.
Yeah. To
get to whatever goal you want to get to. Or if it's just a matter of you're not that concerned with healthy eating and you want to just help animals.
Yeah.
If it's an animal thing or a spiritual thing or an environmental thing, then this is the end.
Yeah.
Veganize your favorite foods and you're done.
Yeah.
Right? So, so the point, this could be for everybody, no matter what your ultimate goal is, no matter what your journey is, getting you toward plant-based, veganizing your favorite foods.
Yeah.
And one last thing I want to say before we get to the how is that you need to truly enjoy your veganized version.
Oh my God,
Don't convince yourself that you like it because you want to like it so much or because you want to be successful. If you are not loving it, then keep working on it.
Yes.
Be patient and keep working.
Yep.
Right? Don't make something that's quote unquote good enough. Because it'll get old.
Oh my goodness.
And you'll go back.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Just you want to be like, oh my God. You want to sound like Janice from Friends or something. Like you want to be over the moon of like, I can do this. Like an epiphany.
If it don't make you buy a vowel. Go back to the cutting board.
There you go.
All right.
That was good.
I think we said enough. Let's talk about how to actually do it.
Sure.
So the first step, I kind of broke it down into 4 easy steps, right? The first step is to determine what makes it not vegan.
Yes.
Because a lot of times you have this big recipe that you make and there's only like 2 things that aren't vegan.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to swap those 2 things, right? A lot of people are like, okay, well, now that I'm vegan, I love green chili stew. So now I have to find a vegan recipe for green chili stew. And I'm like, not at all. take your current recipe
yeah.
and just look at what's not
Not
vegan
vegan,
in it
yes.
and swap it out. It's probably less than you think, and just do that step. Determine what makes it not vegan.
Yep.
And now you know what you need to replace or figure out.
Yeah.
Easy peasy, right?
Totally. And then it's nice because sometimes it's something as simple as like the cheese or the meat or like butter.
That's usually all it is.
Yeah.
Maybe a broth. And then, so that's step 1. So we know what makes it not vegan. So step 2 is just determine what swaps you can make without sacrificing anything.
Yes.
And by sacrificing anything, I mean taste, texture, price, and convenience.
Good point.
Yeah.
So to go back to your green chili stew example, you would use vegetable broth, and you can use seitan cubes are great to mimic the little chunks of meat texture. Your family would use little chunks of meat. And so those were the only 2 swaps.
And then we're done.
And then you're done.
Yep.
And then sometimes you use crumbles to mimic like a ground beef. And that's because sometimes your family would use the ground beef. Done. Easy.
Easy. Do everything else the exact same
Yep.
as you would do it.
So good.
Yeah. And that didn't sacrifice any of those points that I made. Research has shown this. The vast majority of people, regardless of what their goals are, their lifestyle, anything else, make food choices based on taste, price, and convenience. That's in our country. I don't know about the rest of the world, but here that's how we roll.
Right.
So you have to consider those for yourself. If your new green chili stew takes 5 hours to make, but your old one took 45 minutes, that's not going to work. It's not going to be sustainable.
Right.
So find your swaps and, be patient. If you try the seitan cubes and they don't do it for you, try something else.
Right.
Until you find something that does do it for you. Step 3, make the swaps and try it out.
Yeah. This is where you get to experiment, and this is where you don't settle. Just keep trucking. You'll find it.
Yeah. And then step 4, make adjustments if necessary until you get what you're looking for.
Till you buy a vowel when you taste it.
Yep. Because, oh my. And it's easy as that. So those are the 4 steps. So one thing to talk about in terms of step 2, determining what swaps you can make without sacrificing. So if you do a little bit of work to familiarize yourself with replacement products and foods,
yes,
that's going to go a long way.
Yes.
So when you're starting this journey, or if you're still trying to find your rhythm, if you're not familiar with all of these different swaps and substitutions, that's going to help you immensely, right?
Yeah. Like the box mac and cheese. If you're used to box mac and cheese, there are some vegan box mac and cheese.
Right.
Annie's has some vegan ones and Daya has some vegan ones. Like if you like the box mac and cheese from Velveeta with the creamy sauce,
Where you
Daya is
open that package of creamy cheese and just squeeze it in.
Yeah, that's Daya. You're going to want to try Daya.
Yep.
If you're used to like the powder mac and cheese, try the Annie's. Do you know what I mean? And just find there's likely a product because new products are often coming out.
Exactly. So we have a whole list of that we can kind of go down, just real quickly talk about some different ones. But like you said, this list is going to be outdated next week because I'm sure a new product is going to come out.
Right.
Because it's that.
The market is there.
Right.
This is a good time to go plant-based because so much is coming out.
Oh, yeah. Even, oh my God, 10 years ago, the hamburgers
were
not nearly even in the same ballpark.
Realm, not at all.
as they are now.
Yep.
So this is a beautiful time.
Yeah. Like the first time we tried Beyond, I think at Carl's Jr., we were kind of like, do I like it? It's so, it seems really reminiscent. It's been a long time for me, but it seems really reminiscent. Now we love them.
I was like, are you sure they gave us the right one? Is this the vegan one? I was like picking it apart. I was picking pieces off and like examining the texture. I like wanted a magnifying glass or something. I'm like, are you sure this isn't flesh?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
So
that tells you how far they've come. So anyway, yeah, let's start with the meats. With beef. So there's Beyond, which has like ground, the burgers.
Meatballs now.
That's like our favorite burgers.
Yeah.
Oh, the meatballs were amazing.
The meatballs now.
Right. There's also Impossible. Same concept. They got ground. They got burgers.
The patties.
The patties. And a lot of different restaurants are now carrying either Beyond or Impossible.
Yep.
They're both, I think, the best of the best in terms of vegan beef flavor and texture.
Yeah.
My favorite one is whichever one I'm eating at that moment, I always say.
Yeah, you do say that.
So
But if you like if you're gonna put like if you're looking for a ground beef crumbles replacement in like maybe like a chili or spaghetti sauce, then we really like the Morningstar crumbles, and the Gardein crumbles are really good too.
Those are the other two brands that I was going to name is Gardein and Morningstar. Because, yeah, they're good for the crumbles.
And Boca, I think, has crumbles also.
You're right. Yeah, exactly.
I just one time what did I want that we tried a patty and we broke up a patty.
Oh, I broke it up for a green chili stew.
A green chili stew.
And you didn't like it at all.
I didn't like it at all because it reminded me, I had such a strong association to a burger.
Yeah.
And I couldn't move away from that.
It tastes like a burger stew or something.
And which might sound good to some people, so heads up, that could work for you if that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just not what I wanted, and I'm very much a person of if it's not what I want, I don't want it at all. Like, I guess I'm kind of picky sometimes. I don't know.
I didn't say it. All right, so yeah, really good beef options. For ground, for burgers, for cubes.
Well, and yeah, like seitan works as good as the cubes as well. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so that's another good option. And then also, tofu and tempeh are good. More like Whole Foodsy swaps that can work in place of beef or other meats.
Yeah. I was just going to say the seitan like strips to act like a Philly cheesesteak or,
Absolutely.
What is it? French dip also has like the thin strips and stuff.
Yeah.
So the seitan strips like that too.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then chicken. There's some great chicken strips, chicken patties. There's breaded or not breaded. There's your like scallopini thingies that you like to get. The like chicken
and that's Gardein.
Cutlets. Yeah.
The Gardein has a breaded cutlet, like a breaded like turkey cutlet type thing. And then they have almost like a grilled chicken. And I think it's called a like chicken scallopini.
Yep.
And both of them come with like a little sauce that you can put on or leave off or whatever. But super delicious. So you can really get the like if you really are into grilled chicken sandwiches, grab that little Gardein chicken scallopini and make yourself a grilled chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's really good. And then of course nugs. Please don't forget nugs.
Oh, that's on the list.
Somebody
Nuggets.
in this house really likes nugs.
Somebody being like 3 out of 4 people would eat nuggets like every day.
We had a stint during this pandemic.
And we
nugs.
did. Yeah. And the Boca and the Morningstar, I mean, they're just so
good.
Good.
Yes.
And we've made them for people who aren't vegan, even like back in the day when some people weren't really open to the idea of eating vegan food. I remember one of my family members accidentally served themselves from the vegan tray of nuggets instead of the chicken tray of nuggets and didn't even know until we told them. And they were like, oh.
Yeah. So they're really good. And there's all sorts of brands as far as like nugs and chicken patties.
Yeah.
Because there's Gardein, there's Alpha Foods, there's Whole Foods brand, that 365. There's Morningstar, all sorts.
Yeah, our go-tos are the Morningstar and Gardein, I would say.
Yeah, particularly Morningstar because it's mainly what's carried in the stores we frequent.
Yeah. And
they used to have a value pack that was like the perfect size for our family. And I don't know, they stopped making those, so now I have to buy 2 regular packs. So, yeah.
And then onto fish. So there's some really good Gardein fish fillets that we like to buy.
Those are really
and they're so good for fish sandwiches, for fish tacos,
fish and chips.
We make all that good stuff.
Yeah,
that you would do with like breaded fish. Super good. There's a brand that I hear good things about called Good Catch. That we don't really have here, but people in other places, I see it a lot in like different groups that I'm in.
Okay.
So be on the lookout for Good Catch. And then at some places like here at our like mom and pop seafood market, you can get like vegan shrimp and the other little like vegan fish.
Like flakes?
I'm not even sure how to explain it, but to make like ceviche and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. You can go get that. So look at your like seafood markets and see if they have a vegan section, or look at like your mom and pop stores and stuff like that. And then, of course, every other store is likely to carry something like the Gardein fish and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. And then pro tip for ceviche, hearts of palm is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another great substitute for fish. And then we've seen that great crab cakes recipe
Oh
that
my gosh.
uses hearts of palm
Yeah.
instead of fish. So that's another like good plant to use instead of fish.
And I think it's because it's got that like flaky texture that
Yep.
fish sometimes have. Like the sort of big chunks, like strips flake off. I don't know how else to describe it. But I think hearts of palm can mimic that pretty nicely.
For sure. All right. And then for pork, there's some really amazing sausages on the market.
The Morningstar Italian sausage crumbles, y'all. Like, yes.
And what are the Italian sausage that you use?
It's tofurkey. Tofurkey Italian sausage. I do peppers and potatoes, like pan fried with the Italian sausage. Oh my God.
Everybody
so
is always blown away with how much it tastes like just Italian sausage.
Yeah, because that I grew up on that too. My mom made that a lot when I was a kid. Italian sausage with peppers and potatoes. And we made that for her. And she was just like, what? And I'm like, easy substitute. Just get this instead of your sausage. So.
Yeah. Easy swap and then do everything else the exact same.
Yep.
In terms of breakfast sausage, we love the field roast.
Yes.
Links.
The little links are like your favorite.
My favorite thing. I eat them every single day. And then Sweet Earth makes a benevolent bacon.
Yes. Yep.
That's really good.
That's pretty. Yep.
And, I've heard good things about lots of other brands. Our go-tos are those field roast.
Yeah.
And the tofurkey.
Yeah. And the Morningstar Italian crumbles. It's really delicious on pizza.
Yes.
That's the main thing.
That's our
We
favorite
put
thing
it
to
in
do.
spaghetti sauce, and it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing is on pizza.
We buy it for pizza. Yeah. Another good plant substitute for pork, for like shredded pork, is jackfruit.
Yes.
And
yes.
we use that for pozole and tamales, and you can also use it for barbecue sliders.
Yes.
It's really good.
It works so well. You want to drain it and rinse it really, really well. And then you can slow cook it in whatever sauce you want. And it is like on point.
Yeah. So you want to make sure if you buy it canned, buy it in brine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the like unripened jackfruit.
Yeah.
That's the one that mimics the texture. If you buy the like ripened one in syrup, that's like going to be sweet. And
okay. I didn't even know it came
not
in
the way to go.
different kinds.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah. And then another one for shredded pork is oyster mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
That mimics that texture.
Mm-hmm. Because you can like shred it up real easy.
Yeah. And then just another one that we love is the deli slices for like sandwiches. If you want to just make like a meat sandwich. This we fall back on a lot, especially for lunches. It used to be our go-to when we were needing lunches to go.
Yeah.
Our go-to to go.
Yeah.
Was these tofurkey deli slices, and we would eat them all the time. And even now that we're home all the time, it's still like lunch. You don't want to put so much time and effort into our lunches when we're working and we've got school and stuff like that. And it's, I feel like, a comfort thing. Like we grew up on these
meat sandwiches,
turkey sandwiches and ham sandwiches, and you just want to throw that together sometimes.
Yeah.
So thank God the tofurkey deli slices are so good.
Yeah. And I found a ham. Tofurkey makes a ham slices also, and we tried that, and it was really tasty.
Yeah.
It hit the spot. There was only like one store that had it in town, and I just stumbled upon it because I was on the opposite side of town, and they had it, and I haven't been able to find it since.
Yeah.
So that's a little disappointing, but FYI, it's out there.
Keep on the lookout. And then Light Life also makes some, and Eves, YVES.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and what was the brand that was like the deli slices made from like white beans? Remember we bought those once at Trader Joe's?
Yeah, I think it was the Trader Joe's brand.
I
think they had that for a little while. They had like their own slices.
So it's kind of like, I felt like it was a little more on the Whole Foodsy side, but not. Obviously it was processed, but it was made with white beans. It tasted good.
But
it didn't sacrifice the taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lots of good stuff for those easy sandwiches, right? And then you can experiment with all sorts of things. So like we mentioned, the jackfruit, the mushrooms, tempeh tofu, seitan. And there's even more. So like you can make a chickpea salad.
Yes.
That sort of mimics a tuna salad, but you use chickpeas. And if you want like the fishy flavor, you can add some seaweed flakes to it. We've done that before, and some people really like that. Our family really doesn't really need that fishy taste. We just like it without. So.
And the way I found that out that we like that is I literally just use mashed chickpeas in place of tuna. I made it exactly the same way I used to make tuna, and we loved it. And so that's kind of what we're getting at here.
So that's a perfect example of what we're talking about, of how to veganize your go-to foods, because we do tuna salad pretty often.
Yep.
And you didn't have to find this whole new recipe. You just swapped the chickpeas in place of tuna,
Mm-hmm.
vegan mayo in place of mayo, because those were the two things that made your tuna salad not vegan.
Exactly.
You identified those two things. You found the swaps you liked, and now we're good to go.
Yep.
And you do everything else the exact same you used to do it.
Exactly. Right? Yes.
Awesome.
And then we make tuna melts with that too. And we just use a slice of vegan cheese.
Yep.
And vegan butter to grill it.
Exactly. So speaking of vegan butter, let's get into some dairy alternatives. So with milk, there is no limit.
It's amazing the options
There's
we
no
have right
shortage
now.
of milk options.
Yeah.
And so definitely try them and keep trying them
Yep.
until you find one you like, because I guarantee you'll find one you like. And everyone has such different opinions on this.
Mhm.
Like, I am a silk soy milk
Snob. A triple S.
I will wear that badge because that is the superior plant milk. And the only one that I will buy on a regular basis.
But if soy is not your thing, there's
Then
plenty of others.
Definitely go with
there's
oat milk. Oatly oat milk. I'm kind of a snob
with the milks.
the milks, but none of them are really bad. Okay, I'm not going to talk trash about the ones I don't like, but
Because they have a place.
they
like
do
the
actually.
ones,
You're right.
The ones you don't like to drink could be really great for cooking and baking, which
That's
is what
true.
I ended up doing with most of them because nobody really liked to drink them. And so we kind of used the thicker, creamier ones for drinking,
Mhm.
and sort of the ones that tend to be a little thinner and not as creamy for baking and
That's
cooking.
true. Absolutely. Because some of them work. Yeah, like I'll just say it. I don't like to drink almond milk.
Mm-hmm.
And some people like throw stuff at me when I say that. I'm like, I don't like to drink it. I don't like it in cereal. I don't like it. But I love to cook with it and bake with it. It works really well for baking. So we always buy almond milk for baking and cooking because it's really good for that.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. But that's what I'm saying. Most people love almond milk and swear by it.
Mm-hmm.
And they think I'm the wild one because I don't like it.
Right.
So definitely.
And I mean,
check it
there's
out.
hemp milk, flax milk, oat milk. There's so many different kinds.
Here,
So
ready? Soy, almond, coconut, hemp, rice, oat, flax, cashew, hazelnut, walnut, pea, banana.
there, geez Louise. So there you go. There is a vast array. Just keep looking.
You're going to find one.
And if you don't like if you find a soy milk you don't like, maybe don't swear off all soy milks.
Right.
Maybe you don't like that brand.
Exactly.
Because that's another thing. There's a variety of brands under each of these as well.
This is true because I'm the soy snob, and there are some brands of soy milk that I don't care for.
Right.
That was a very good point.
Yeah. So just, keep looking with brands and whatever it's made out of.
Yeah. And what you're using it for, too. If you try it in your cereal and you're not feeling it, try something else in your cereal.
Right.
Because maybe you like different ones with different things.
Yeah.
All right. So next is cheese.
Cheese.
Now we're going to do a whole episode about cheese.
Yes. Because our number one tip with cheese is, honestly, maybe it was just me. I needed to go cold turkey on cheese.
For lack of a better
Yeah.
figure of speech.
Yes, thank you.
Cold tofurkey.
Cold tofurkey, because I was not impressed with the vegan cheeses that were on the market when we went vegan.
Mm-hmm.
There are more varieties now, and the brand that was on the market has revamped their recipe. The main brand 4 years ago when we went vegan.
Right.
And so I just wasn't impressed, and so I was just like, well, I'll just have to go without. I found a nacho cheese sauce made out of potatoes and carrots that was fantastic, so I at least had that. But the store-bought regular swaps, I just was not impressed. And then a couple months later, friends invited us over for an event, and they bought a bag of vegan cheese for us. And so I'm going to try it again. I'm like, oh, this was really sweet and thoughtful. And so I tried it, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. What was my problem? I think I needed to completely cut it out, have my taste buds change, get rid of that queso morphine reaction in my body, from the regular cheese in order to enjoy the vegan cheeses. However, there are a lot of new brands on the market now.
And they've come a long way.
And they've come a long way.
You know, it could be advisable to try some of these.
Right.
And if you're not liking any of the ones you try, maybe give it a break altogether.
Mm-hmm.
A little cleanse, you know, a little whatever you want to call it, and then come back to it and try it and see if it's enjoyable at that point.
Yeah.
But there are, you know, for whatever you're looking for, cheddar, mozzarella, cream cheese.
Gouda.
Shreds.
Yeah.
There's like the fresh mozzarella. There's the Gouda. There's spreads.
There's the like triangle Parmesan that you can shred now.
Oh, there's everything under the sun.
There's so much now.
Yeah.
And so some brands are Chow, Dea, Follow Your Heart, Miyokos.
Violife.
Thank you. Yep.
Go Veggie, Kite Hill, Tofuti. Give them a shot.
Yes.
Those are some of the go-tos that people swear by.
Yeah.
And again, I've read so many threads in vegan groups where people are like, Violife is my favorite. It's amazing. And then another person's like, oh, I'll never eat at that restaurant because they use Violife and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Try what you like.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
And be open to like, okay, I don't like this brand of cream cheese, but I like their sour cream. Or this is my favorite brand of cream, because I have a favorite brand of vegan cream cheese.
Yeah.
And then it's interesting because recently we tried the brand that I don't really care for. Like, I don't care for the Dea plain cream cheese. I love the Tofuti plain cream cheese.
Same.
And then recently somebody had brought over some bagels for us, and the plain Dea cream cheese and the strawberry Dea cream cheese. Well, the strawberry Dea cream cheese on a bagel was like, oh, what have I been missing? So be aware that can happen as well.
So
too.
interesting.
Yeah. Especially if you have an opportunity to try things you haven't bought for yourself. If you have an opportunity to try them someplace else, go ahead and experiment. That way you're not spending as much. Because it's really disappointing to, you know, buy a thing of cream cheese and then I don't really like it. What am I going to do with it? Well, if you don't like it on a bagel, do you like it, you know, in a cream sauce? Use it some other way and see if you like it that way.
Yeah, good point. So that's our thing on cheese.
Yep.
And then there's eggs. Now, this one can be a whole episode in and of itself as well.
Yeah.
About how to substitute eggs.
Yes.
So if you are baking, there's a lot of different egg replacers, but you're going to have to do a little bit of research to find which one you want to use for the thing you're trying to bake at the moment.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be different for breads, for muffins, for
pies.
If you need some type of chemical reaction, then you need the right replacement. So it might be flax seeds or chia seeds or vinegar and baking soda or applesauce, tofu. There's even an egg replacer product, but you're going to need a little bit more research to figure it out.
And this is where sometimes I Google what I want to make and then read a bunch of different recipes. Those are times that I take the time to read all the text above the recipe. When people have dissertations before you get to the recipe, sometimes that's when I'm reading it to see, or I at least look for the section that's about how they replace the egg.
Yeah. You're right. I hate those dissertations before the recipes. They drive me crazy, except when it's about egg replacements.
Right.
Vegan egg replacements, those are very worth the read.
Yes, exactly. And that's part of just like how to gain that experience is, you know, you read what other people have done and you try it.
And then if you want eggs, like just to eat eggs, that's a little bit easier. And you could just follow some recipes for tofu scramble that really mimics scrambled eggs. And we have a recipe for vegan fried eggs on our website. It's pretty easy to make.
Yeah.
And really wowed us with the flavor and texture.
Absolutely.
So we highly recommend that. And then there are some egg replacement products like Just Egg and the Follow Your Heart vegan egg that some people really like to just make some scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
That are vegan.
And I've seen recipes that use chickpea flour.
Or chickpea flour, exactly.
I tried that and I could not get it, and then I never tried it again because our tofu scramble like works for us.
Killed it. But those vlogs make that chickpea flour look so easy.
They do, and it looks so good. I'm like, I want to figure it out, but I
know you did it and it didn't work out. And then I watched a vlog, and I'm like, I could do that. How come she couldn't do that? And then I'm like, no. I failed too. So, but maybe it's just us. Maybe it was our pan. Maybe it was the heat. Maybe
Right.
I have no idea. Maybe it is that easy, and we just, for whatever reason,
Yeah.
failed at it.
Maybe it wasn't a good day to try a new recipe because that makes
there's
a
always
difference.
that.
That
So
really
give it a
does.
shot.
Yeah.
And see.
But it does look really tasty.
Yeah. And then I wanted to point out, we've gone over meats and dairy and eggs, and we have a blog post on our website that's got this information too, with some nice little infographics that can help you, point you in the right direction of some products that you might want to try, or some good reminders.
Yeah.
So check that out. And then on there, we link to a really good article that breaks down how to use eggs in baking and for what different reasons.
Great.
Whether you need them for leavening or for binding or for moisture, and what you can use. It's that dissertation that you can
You can read.
It's not that long. It's like a 3-minute read, but it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
So if you want more information or to go into that, check out our blog, and we've got more for you on there. And then also with broths, that's something that you want to swap in soups and stews and different recipes that use broths. For us, we just use vegetable broth,
and vegetable bouillon.
9 times out of 10, that does it.
Yes.
That's it. And that's easy to find everywhere and anywhere you shop. Now, some people like to go a little beyond that and find the chicken specific flavored or the beef specific flavored. And there are some vegan broths that are chickenless
beef, broth. Yeah.
Right. And so Better Than Bouillon makes a chickenless vegan one and a beefless vegan one. We haven't found them locally at stores. You have to order them online, but those are there. We like to use the Better Than Bouillon vegetable broth for all of our broth needs. And then there's a brand called Edward and Sons bouillon cubes that you can get at Sprouts here in New Mexico, or here in Albuquerque at least. And then you can order them online.
And that's what your sister used for the pozole, right?
And that's her go-to. That's how I know about it, because
Yeah.
that's her go-to for pozole
It was really tasty.
and other stuff when she wants some bouillon in it. And then I have seen others online too that I can't vouch for, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they're good.
Yeah.
And then some different fats, because sometimes you need fats in your recipes or with your meals or whatever. So butters, again, there's no shortage of butters.
There's really not. There's so many.
And
Earth
they're all
Balance.
so good.
Yeah. There's Earth Balance. Country Crock has a line now that's there's got some avocado oil and some olive oil ones.
There's Miyokos.
Miyokos, yeah.
And then there's a new brand called Melt.
Oh, okay.
We haven't tried, but I've seen it everywhere and people like it.
Nice. And then sometimes just Blue Bonnet.
Yeah. If you just read the ingredients, Blue Bonnet has an accidentally vegan butter.
Yeah.
And there's a few others.
Or margarine, not necessarily butter.
Technically speaking. Yeah. And the beauty is they work just like butter in baking and stuff.
Yes.
So we bought the sticks of the Country Crock one for all of our baking over the holidays and stuff, and they just work like a charm. We've also bought the sticks of Earth Balance.
Yep.
Same thing. We like to buy the little tub to spread on toast and stuff like that. Our son Constantine really loves the Earth Balance spread.
Yes.
To spread on stuff way more than the Country Crock sticks. He gets all sad if we have that. It's he's the butter snob in the house. But it's all good. It's really good stuff.
And Country Crock makes those in spread now also. So they have sticks for baking and little tubs for spread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then, for other stuff, if a recipe calls for something like lard, you can always substitute that with shortening or sometimes coconut oil.
Yeah.
And vegetable oils. Those will be your vegan-friendly fats in recipes. Or sometimes avocado. Seen people substitute avocado for mayo.
Okay.
In recipes. We tried it once, don't you remember? We did chickpea salad, and instead of mayo, we did avocado.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It tasted very healthy and not what we wanted.
Way to be honest.
I tell it like it is. But some people are really into it, and go you if that's you. I wish I could be that person, but I'm not.
We might have to ease ourselves into it. Do add a little bit of avocado, have a little bit of avocado and a little bit of mayo.
There you go.
Put the hands together and and then slowly phase out the mayo.
There you go. I've heard people do that with other stuff. They'll do half Beyond Meat and half lentils or something.
Yeah.
So it's got that meaty flavor from the Beyond, but it's not just pure Beyond. You're getting some lentils in there. So That's a good idea too. And then familiarize yourself with condiments that you like. So we've been
Yes.
talking about mayo a lot. So what vegan mayos are good? The Best Foods
Yeah.
vegan mayo is really good.
Really,
Highly
really good.
recommended and easy to find, and that's why it's been our go-to. We really love the Just mayo made by Hampton Creek.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really find it anymore.
I know. I don't know.
But that was just the best one.
Yeah. And they had really tasty ranch too
I
that
know.
they don't make anymore.
They need to come back.
I know.
Come on, Hampton Creek. And then a lot of people love the Veganize.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that on certain things. Like if I make a tofurkey wrap with lettuce, or not lettuce, with spinach and tomato, and I love the Veganize on that. It's like
you do.
magic. But it's good for everything else too. And some people prefer that. So give that a shot. There's some good ranch on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Follow your heart.
Follow your heart. That's
Dude,
number one.
follow your heart.
Number one.
Seriously.
Yeah. The Daya Ranch is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not our go-to. Some people really like it. We like to follow our heart. And then there's a pretty easy homemade ranch that we make that uses vegan mayo,
Right.
but with the right spices.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
And a little time to marinate.
Mhm.
It's perfection. So if you can't find a ranch you like, find a mayo that you like and make the homemade vegan
Yes.
ranch.
Yeah.
And then you're good to go, right?
Yep.
Just those, that's like our short little list to get you started.
Mm-hmm.
And just we recommend familiarizing yourself with some of these things. You know, Google is great if you're looking for different options.
Mm-hmm.
Reading the text before the recipes is sometimes helpful.
Yep. Read the dissertation.
And groups, you
Yeah.
know, vegan groups online. If you find a good one that's positive and helpful.
Yes.
You know, I've learned a lot from different vegan groups.
Yeah, definitely.
There are some really good ones.
All right. So now that we went through all of that, let's recap. Go back to our 4 easy steps to veganizing the foods. So number 1, determine what makes it not vegan. Maybe it's just a couple of things, easy swaps that can be replaced. Hopefully it's less than you think. So that'll make it easy. Number 2, determine what swaps you can make without sacrificing anything, without sacrificing taste, texture, price, convenience. Maybe you have to compromise on one of them. My recommendation is to not compromise on taste, though. and then maybe, like, for me, second is probably convenience. But prioritize those aspects, taste, texture, price, and convenience, because you might have to, you know, do a little bit of compromising. But prioritize those and then try to figure out how you can reduce sacrificing one of those.
There you go.
Okay. And then number 3, make swaps and try it out. This is where you get to start experimenting and tasting and being all yummy about it. And if it's not yummy, keep trying. And then number 4 is the keep trying part. Make adjustments. Try different brands, try different flavors or texture, something. Just keep trying.
Till you get your thing.
Yes. And then enjoy.
And then enjoy your vegan life.
Yes.
Awesome. And have fun with it. And enjoy your food.
Yeah. If you don't enjoy it, it's not going to be sustainable.
Try it again.
Yeah. Tweak it and keep going till you buy a vowel.
Yeah. And if you have specific questions, reach out to us.
Mm-hmm.
We're happy to share. We've got a great collection of recipes on our website to give you ideas for different things, for cheeses and meats, and figuring out how to make different things. And yeah, go forth and may the force be with you.
Go forth and enjoy your food.
Yeah. And thanks for joining us as always, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. We release new episodes every 2 weeks. You can always email us at plantbased@apnm.org. Check out our website, apnm.org/plantbased for classes, recipes, and more resources.
See you in 2 weeks.